Morning, folks. You know, many of us that I interact with here daily are software developers, but there's a lot of people that aren't. And it seems everybody thinks this is rocket science, but it's not. So today I want to try and show you the basics of the data. First, let's get the housekeeping out of the way. Name's Virgil Beerswell, vbsenate.com. You can email me at vbeers@gmail.com. I will answer. My website is guestworkervisas.com. Now, most of you follow my work because you're looking for good paying jobs. You can't find it anywhere. And that's terrible. You know, we're Americans living in America, and we can't find jobs as Americans in America. That's wrong. That's why I do what I do. You know, most of you don't know it, or if you don't know it, I'm running for senator against John Cornyn because he's done a lousy job of taking care of Texans. Matter of fact, he's got a new ad out there that shows him and President Trump building the border wall, shutting out illegal immigrants. But what he doesn't mention is that him and Governor Abbott have done more to import non-immigrant guest workers from India to take your jobs and then to use Texas taxpayer money to deprive you of jobs because they use that money to hire contractors who will not hire Americans. Now, by God, this is America. This is Texas. If we're going to spend our money that we taxed our citizens on, we ought to be spending that money on Americans or Texans, nobody else. Now, trying to think what the best way. Well, let's just dig into it. If you go over here to Google or any search engine, I don't really care which one you use, and you enter BLS for Bureau of Labor Statistics, LCA for H-1B, and then you enter performance data. At the top of the list, usually, you'll see this performance data. Click on that. Now, if you go down here and you scroll down, you'll see PERM and LCA, H2A, H2B, CW1. What we want to look at is the LCA data. Which is right here. This first of the thing I'm showing you describes what's in each of the fields. And you can look at that anytime you want. Doesn't take long. The second one, LCA disclosure data 2025 quarter 3. What it'll do, if you click on it, it's going to download that spreadsheet to your computer. And depending on what browser you use, it'll show it when it's done. So I can click on that spreadsheet now. And it takes a while to load up because there is, anywhere from 200,000 to 500,000 records in there, rows in there. Just ignore the cheerleader in the background if you're hearing them. Oh, they're all going to go off now. Are y'all done now? God, gee whiz. As you can see, it takes a while for that spreadsheet to open up because there's a lot of rows in it. And now it opens right here. You can turn on and enable editing, but when you do, it's going to go through that whole reload routine again. So for now, this is good enough for what I want to show you. You see the case numbers, case status, receive date, citizen date. All this is a spreadsheet, guys. Just a spreadsheet. And then what I do from there, I convert this. See how it says XLSX right there? I convert it to a CSV file. And then I upload it to my MySQL database as a table. And once I get it in here, then there's all that same information. And it's a simple matter for me to query it. Or better yet, build a program out there in PHP, put it on a website that gives you the ability to look for whatever you're looking for. But that's all it is. There is no rocket science. Now, if you're curious what else is out there, go all the way down here. As you can see here, you can get years past of the historical data. Like here's all the H-1B stuff right here. But go all the way down to the bottom. And you can pull up these selected statistics by program. LCA is what you're looking for the H-1B. You pull up that, and now all of a sudden you get a pretty good idea of the top 10 and everything without doing any queries. You know, if you're a journalist and you're writing an article on this will help you out. And they also have prior years. Some interesting stuff out there, guys. You just got to be willing to dig for it. But that's all there is for the data. And they have it available for the H-2A, H-2B. The CW1 is the Marianas Islands, I think. It's prevailing wage. I never have dug into that. In Perm, I don't do anything with that because Jobs Now does a pretty good job. And Amanda, she uses the Perm data a lot, I think. So I pretty well stay away from it. My main focus is the LCA, which is H-1B. And then every once in a while I'll dig into H-2A and H-2B. I need to spend more time, I understand it. But that's all these are. These are spreadsheets. And the right-hand column is the documentation of what's in those spreadsheets. You know, if you just kind of want to familiarize yourself with it, that's the way to dig into it right there. Not no rocket science, folks. Not much at all. Just a good place for you to find the data so you can do your own analysis if you don't want to trust mine or you don't trust my Visa Jobs or any of the other ones that are out there. If you know how to do a spreadsheet, you can do everything you need to know from right there. Anyway, I'll be covering this and other ways of getting data because you need to understand this stuff. You know, you need to know where your jobs come from, which I've already covered that. Now you know how to get the H-1B data. As you saw, there is no data for the OPT or any of the other stuff there, which that gets into a completely different animal. A lot of rumors out there. Who's telling the truth? I don't know. That's why I always look for data like this, so that at least I have something to work with. I can say, hey, this is what the data says. Anyway, enough of that today. As always, I can use your help. VBSenate.com. We need to beat Cornyn. We need to beat Paxton. Colin Allred. Wesley Hunt. We need to put an American and a Texan in there that understands that Texans need jobs, good paying jobs. Hell, the damn rent and power, electricity, utilities, all that, it's through the roof now. The average guy making $10 an hour, which is what most people in America make, he can't afford that, or she can't. We need to find a way to change this stuff, to put Texans and Americans back in charge of their own future so that they can build a prosperous family, prosperous lifestyle for themselves. Don't you think? Thank you. Good day.